Aloha, good morning. This is Caron B Davis, Caron B Realty International, and welcome again on Friday morning. Hope everyone had a wonderful week. And I was just thinking the other day, oh my God, it's 4th of July soon, how the year is just boom, moving forward here. Anyway, excited to have Jim Schmit back, award-winning architect and a dear friend of, scared to say, over 30 years probably.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, actually longer than that.
Yeah.
Longer than that.
Yeah,
I
it's been a
think
while.
we're going probably about 36, 37
It's
years.
it's shocking how quickly 30 years goes by.
Oh my God, it's crazy. And, I knew Jim when I first came to the islands, and, I used to sell penny saver ads, but then I got into real estate, and Jim was so kind. There was a group of his friends and Jim who referred a lot of business to me, and they had so much faith in me. And here I am still.
And still do.
Oh, thank you. Anyway, Jim's been in his business architectural for 48 years. And I thought it would be interesting to talk about what keeps coming up in my head right now is when I see a vacant lot, I go, oh my God, I wonder how anyone's ever going to build on that, or how's anyone going to ever remodel because of this whole building permit crisis we have with the department. And I thought we'd get an up-to-date on what's going on right now. What are the procedures happening? And then from there, maybe you can share some stories. And then, of course, if you have your own questions or concerns, you can always reach out to me and Jim and ask him directly, of course. So, Jim, why don't we talk about what's going on at the building permit office right now?
Okay. Anybody that knows me knows I'm an optimist. And that's just impossible to change. Although recently with the building permit problems, I was beginning to lose that optimism.
Yeah.
But I made a concerted effort in the last 2 years to try to get to the people who have the ability to make change. And it ended up going through a lot of people before I actually got a meeting with the mayor. And the mayor had a group of about 15 people, including other architects and contractors and a lot of people. And it was a really good meeting. And the best part of that meeting was that I got a lot of business cards from people who were on my list of possible decision makers. And ultimately we've met with everybody, and everybody says the same thing. We know it's broken. We don't know how to fix it. And but they're up for suggestions. And I'm right now as optimistic as I have ever been. I mean, I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I think it's actually going to be this year that everything that's broken down there is going to be fixed. And I think it's going to be a good deal.
No, wonderful. Yeah, because when I'm driving by, I see a lot of houses that started construction, some very bold construction actually, without permits, and they've been stopped. So are they still stopping people right now, or what's the situation?
Well, they are,
Yeah.
and we have a couple of them. One of them,
Yes.
we just got their permit yesterday.
Oh, great.
So he's no longer building without a permit.
Nice. So do you want to, briefly just walk us through how he got his permit? Because, some people think you just can't get permits for 2 years right now.
Yeah, and that's a reasonable fear. And it doesn't have to do with knowing anybody or getting any special favoritism. That's not how it is. But understanding how the building permit process and the construction process works is kind of critical. Like, for example, the plan checker is the person who sits in the office and looks at your plans and has to run it through e-filing and pre-check and all of the other things that stop it.
Okay.
And that's changing. As again, I say it is changing. And I think that that'll continue to change in a favorable way. But what hasn't changed is that the building inspectors are still the guy on the ground in the field who spots the house that doesn't have a permit.
Okay.
And looks it up. And if someone hasn't made a complaint, they usually will call the contractor or me or the owner and say, we know you don't have your permit and you've started work and there's going to be a fine. And if you're in process and your plans have been submitted and accepted for review,
Yes.
we'll let you keep working.
Oh, okay.
And it's totally their decision.
Okay.
And, I'm probably going to get a lot of calls from building inspectors who don't want that to get out,
Yes.
because then everybody will be calling their building inspector and probably they'll stop doing that.
Yes.
So keep it under your hat. But it's the inspector is the guy. Now, the other thing is the inspectors don't change daily like the staff does. In the last couple of years, ironically, everybody who's been there for a long time either had a heart attack and died, or retired, or went to jail, or is no longer available in any case. And all of them are being replaced by people who are new.
Yeah.
And who don't know really the processes of doing these things. And everybody is afraid of being accused of doing something improper. And so it all makes it difficult. The building inspectors, on the other hand, I guess maybe I have a good relationship with all the building inspectors, and I've done this for 60 years. And I've always appreciated their knowledge and their ability to cut through the BS and approve things that need to be approved. So that's kind of a part of why I'm optimistic, because that hasn't changed.
Yeah.
And the inspectors are still reasonable people. And now I'm not saying that the people in the plan checking department are not reasonable people either. It's just they're not as knowledgeable. By the time you get to be an inspector, you've done your time as a plan checker. You've been in DPPs for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's going to be continuing. And I'm hoping that some of the people who are in the plan checking now will end up being building inspectors before I end up quitting my job forever. But it's not going to happen in the near future.
No, I thank you for that. And so it sounds like, on the ground won't change as much, but the administration, how they process when people ask, to start the building permit process is going to change.
Right. And everybody understands that it's a flawed system right now.
Yeah.
We've invested in electronic filing. We've got computers that we're trying to get to do the work of humans. And that's like artificial intelligence. And really, we're a long ways away from a working automatic intelligence. And probably my goal with the building department right now is to make exceptions that are legal within the process of what's been done over the years, and bring some of these old systems back online so that we can continue to get things out of the way. Now, in order to do that, you need to have an architect who is confident in his work.
Yes.
You need to say, like, for instance, I'm never afraid to put my name on anything I do, because I know I'm not doing anything wrong. I know that, I know how to do my own structural calcs. I know how to do a lot of things that not everybody knows how to do. And I've been doing it for long enough that it's kind of easy. It's easy because I know what I'm doing. So I'm not afraid to sign it and say, I'll be responsible for this project.
Got it.
A lot of architects nowadays go, well, my insurance would never let me do that. And they probably haven't ever had a problem with their insurance, so that they know that actually they're paying the insurance company. And if the insurance company says you can't sign this and you want to sign it, you can still sign it. Now I'm going to get in trouble with the insurance companies.
No. Well, we're going to wrap things up here.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's okay. But so, if I was in the middle of, I had an older home and I knew I needed to really, get going to remodel it, should somebody not do that right now, or should they move ahead and hire an architect, hire a contractor? What should somebody do today?
Well, it's been my experience, and again, I've been in the business since 1971. That was my first job as an architect, and I've noticed one thing, and that is prices don't ever go down.
Okay.
If there's a major problem with subprime loans and everything gets shut down and the value of your house diminishes a little bit, a year later, it's gonna be already more than it was when it started going down.
Yes,
So as far as should you proceed now? Yeah, you should proceed now.
great. Yeah.
And there's other things that are happening that would mean why you should proceed now too, and that is every year I have more clients who don't live in Hawaii, who want to live in Hawaii,
Yeah.
who are relocating here,
Yeah.
or who want a vacation house here, and I don't see that changing.
Yes.
And I really don't see
the
that
demand
changing.
of it.
So I think that we have a limited amount of land. We have one of the things I read that's important if you're going to be a developer is you need to have an adverse circumstance with almost everybody in order to be a successful developer, because only the guys who can pass those hurdles are going to succeed. And so I think you have to have confidence that you're going to succeed. Go forward with it. Get a good architect, that's for sure.
Yes.
Get a good contractor, and there's plenty of them out there, and you shouldn't have any problem. What I mean by you shouldn't have any problem is there may be an automatic delay of a few months or a year, but it's still worth buying something now.
Yeah, it's just like, the residential real estate market here, right? Things are selling. There's multiple offers
That's right.
The market isn't, it's not even slowing down really. If properties are positioned well, priced well, boom, it sells, within the week still. So keep on your personal goals and visions, I think. And
Right.
there'll always be things happening in the world that you have no control on, but work on the things you have control on. And you might have to do an extra couple of steps with what's going on in the economy, but just keep to your own visions. I think that's a really important thing to remember.
I do too.
Anyway, on that note, thank you. We could talk forever.
I know.
But we're not going to.
So let me wrap up the thing.
Sure.
I am very confident
that
the building department is going to find a way through this electronic jungle. And I think it's happening right now, and it'll continue happening. And I'm expecting to be quite happy on my birthday, which is at the end of December of this year.
Oh, that's good. I was going to ask you that.
So
great. There we go.
So I'm giving them until my birthday, and if everything is working by then, I'll consider that a really great birthday present.
Okay. And moving ahead, we have Marianne photos, of course, and it's a lot of fun, these photos today. We never think of Oahu having forests. And we always think we need to go to Oregon or somewhere, on the coastline there. And she calls this an enchanting forest series. And this is the stillness, fresh smell of pine and sound of birds sign on a recent walk in the forest brought to my mind, and into the forest I go to lose my mind and find my soul. Yeah, we forget we have these, pine trees. And then here we have a simple beauty in the forest, a cabbage white butterfly, and enjoys the nectar of a lovely wildflower. These are all on her nature walk. And common birds like the male and female house finch, they look way more exotic in the pine forest there. And two beautiful golf fritillaries brighten the landscape. And have a great first weekend of summer. Wow. Yeah, so fantastic. And on that note, thank you. Okay. Enjoy your sailing tonight.
I will.
Much mahalo.
Bye.